Good morning, everyone. Thanks for hopping in again with me and Spike on another easy camping adventure. Today we're east of the Cascade Mountains in the center of Washington State. I'm going to be camping maybe on Table Mountain or something. The jump-off point will be the little town of Liberty, Washington. But first we're going to go up here and check out the old town cemetery in the historic mining town of Roslyn, Washington. Now, in case you didn't know, Roslyn is an old coal mining town in central Washington that was founded in 1886 by the Northern Pacific Coal Company, which was a subsidiary of the Northern Pacific Railroad because they needed coal for their steam engines. Now, coal mining is a dangerous business, and so right away they needed a cemetery, and so in 1887 the original Roslyn Cemetery was founded. In 1888, the miners went on strike wanting better, safer conditions. So the company just brought in strike breakers. They brought in 300 black miners with their families. Now, these miners weren't allowed to use the original cemetery, so they were given a separate but adjacent piece of land where they could lay their dead to rest. Now, most of the miners were from Eastern Europe, and so they wanted their own cemeteries too. And so they were either sold or given land by the company for, again, adjacent but separate cemeteries. So that by the early 1900s there were some 26 cemeteries here covering about 15 acres of land. That's the Mount Olivet Cemetery here on the right. But where we're going is the original or Old City Cemetery. Right here. One of the things that I like about the Old City Cemetery is that it contains not only the remains of people such as Jacob Weatherly, who on May 10, 1892, along with Thomas Holmes and 45 other men died in a mine explosion in the No. 1 mine, but it also contains the graves of the ordinary citizens. The wives and family members, the grandparents. And also scattered throughout here and there and seemingly everywhere are the graves of children, such as the children of Joseph and Elizabeth Jones, whose children, like so many others here, died during the winter of 1889-1890. In fact, there's a section that's mostly children and babies. There's a monument up here we'll go check out. Well, that's all very sad and very interesting. But I think what we'll do is we'll visit one more site before we leave. That will be the gravesite of Myrtle Wilson. He's actually just right here in the behind Spike. Now, Myrtle Wilson was a snake charmer. She came to town in 1914 with a traveling show. Unfortunately, she never left. Her co-star bit her and she died. The group promised that the following year they would return and take her home. 100 years later, she's still waiting to go home. Well, that was just a quick little tour of basically the Old Town Cemetery. There's another 24 cemeteries out here to come and look at, but I always find this to be the most interesting. One thing about visiting the old Roslyn Cemetery, you leave there in a quiet and reflective mood, and that just sort of lingers for a while. Yeah. Over the years, I've camped here many times. Let's have a look at the view. Then, just in case you're new to the channel, I don't actually set up a tent. I put a bed in my FJ. Once I take out the table, the chair, and the fire pit, and my canopy, there it is. I never disassemble it. Well, I did something kind of foolish. Couldn't help myself. I picked up this swinging hammock chair. And you know, if you've been watching my channel, I always use this 0G chair. Zero gravity chair. I've used this for a couple years now. It's still in great shape. I really like it. It's really comfortable. I think I paid about $180 for it. Found that on sale for $29 for 30 bucks. So I just couldn't turn it down. Picked it up. I'm going to see, what do I think of this chair? It's got stiffeners in the back. It's got a headrest. You can adjust it very easily right here to lean back farther. This chair is by far better. This is by far the more comfortable chair. The other chair is nice. This one is excellent. One of the really nice things about this particular campsite is it's one of the few spots on Table Mountain here where everything is still green. And I shouldn't say everything, I should say there's a couple spots where you can stand and it looks like the forest has never had a forest fire. It's all as green as can be. But just beyond this thin curtain, the forest is nothing but gray snags. How's that? It's 69 degrees here in the shade. I just looked. It's 91 degrees in Ellensburg. This is the place to be. What a beautiful day. There's not a cloud in the sky. I couldn't ask for a better day. If I walk out in the sun over there, it's probably about 75, maybe even 80 degrees. One of my favorite things about camping is just kicking back in camp and not doing anything. It's really great if you have a nice view. Wow, what a spectacular sunset. Just gonna walk up here along the cliff edge somewhere and stand there and stare at it blankly for the next half hour. Wow, there's an owl flying around me. Well, I think the owl is gone, and it looks like there's enough alpenglow for me to walk back to camp. Got a little bit dark on me while I'm out walking around in the evening like I like to do. Oh, more light up here. One thing that's really nice about camping up here on Table Mountain, if you look out there, there are no lights. No sign of civilization. You really get a feeling of solitude here. Wow, what a beautiful evening this has been. The stars are really excellent tonight. The moon's not going to rise until about 3 or 4 a.m. That's why. Nice and dark. It's only about 55 degrees, so it's still pretty mild. But it's after 11 o'clock. I'm going to have to call it a day. And it seems like a short day. Today seems like it went by in about half the time as a normal day. Well, I'll see you in the morning. Good night. Well, good morning. What a beautiful morning it is. What a great night's sleep that was, too. It's about 7 o'clock in the morning. Got my breakfast about ready. And my coffee. Let's get the day started. I'll come out here for one last gander. Sure is hard to pull myself away. It's after 8. Time sure flies when you're having fun. I should be going. Gotta face stupid reality again. Want to thank you for hanging out with me on another easy camping adventure. I always appreciate it when you're there. I hope you join me next time too. I really do. Till then, you've been easy camping with Dan Dog and Spike.